Welcome back. So, today I'm going to do things a little bit differently. I don't have a script, so I'm just kind of I have written down points, so we'll go over some things, but I just want to share tips that I've learned throughout my journey to help the human experience be a little more easy so that when things come up, you're not really like stuck, I guess. Yeah, there. Okay, so let me see what I have. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is allowing and accepting. So, a lot of the times, what we resist persists. So, the more you're like, oh, I don't want to think this thought, and you push it away, like the more it's going to come up. So, the key is to be detached from your thoughts. So, you have thoughts, you have feelings, but you're not your thoughts and you're not your feelings. And I know I've talked a lot in other videos about programming and how you come into the world with programming. So, basically what you're doing is you're observing the patterning, or especially if you get like trapped into negative thinking, because one negative thought goes to another negative thought, and then you hyper fixate on negative things, and then you start thinking, okay, this is what I don't like, and this is what I don't like, and this is what I don't like, and then you're just hyper fixating on everything you don't like. So allowing and being just, I'm observing. So when I see something I don't like, I'm just like, oh, okay. And then, but what do I like? But what do I want to create? So for me, I always, like, people are always going to be outside of you doing things or being certain ways that maybe you don't like. But your journey's not about them, it's about you. So what I do is I always switch back to the internal. Observe yourself in your interactions with others in the world. How do you show up? What do you like about yourself? How can you expand things you like about yourself? For me, I like to focus on like what I'm gonna create, these videos, or right now I'm planning a party for my daughter. I want to redo my living space and stuff like that. So I always have projects. So I'm always working to create something. When you're in creation mode, you're transmuting negative energy. So, like, if you're just harboring in all this negative energy and it's just staying stuck in you, and it has, like, if you're not clearing out your energy, you can be picking up other people's negative stuff too in your aura, and then it makes you feel cluttered and it makes you feel, like, foggy. So you need to always be clearing out your energy, especially the higher you go in your vibration, the more you need to be clearing out your energy regularly so that you feel healthy. So even with like things you watch, sometimes if you're like binging something that's pretty dark, then you notice that your thoughts start getting a certain way, or maybe you start mimicking characters on the screen. So yeah, you're just clearing is so important. And sometimes if you're watching something where you're judging people, then that will translate out into the world. Like, oh, now I'm judging people out in the world. And that's not what we want to do. We're trying to live a more unified existence. So when you go out into the world, you want to be able to just like hear people and see them from a pure place, because we're all part of a bigger picture. We're all part of the divine. And there are going to be good things and there are going to be bad things, but some people say positive, negative. They're all just different things, and they're all, like Aaron Doughty says, everything's neutral. So nothing is good and nothing's bad. All it is just different lessons, I guess. Different lessons. So for me, what made reality a lot easier was, okay, so we detach from our thoughts, right? So I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my emotions, but I have them. Sometimes when you attach to emotions, can give you what I like to call the fuzzies. The fuzzies are like when you keep thinking about something like kind of obsessively because you like it so much, like you're so attracted to it, and then you actually don't end up doing because you're just sitting and thinking. So when you attach to something, you can get the fuzzies, and you have to detach from that and be like, okay, my character, my avatar is a little bit attached to that, but you bring it back into something greater. So for me, I always bring it back to my healing. For you, it could be anything, just to kind of get out of that obsessive, like, thinking. It's just overthinking is what it is. So the more you overthink, the more that you will continue to overthink. The more you step back and you practice patience and being grounded in the present. So now what I like to do is just practice listening to others, being present in the moment. Like if I'm petting my cat, like feeling my cat, I'm tuning into my senses. If I'm cooking, what am I smelling? What can I taste? The more you're in the moment, the more you're immersed in like what I'm doing, what am I feeling, what am I sensing, then it's easier to not be future tripping or dwelling in the past. So that helps too with the human experience. And let me see what else I have on my list. Okay, so they say that like this world is a mirror reflection of things that we have internally. So if you're seeing things on the outside that you don't like, they're usually patterns within. So you really have to go into your belief system and like see where maybe you've been in victim mentality, maybe where you've been in lack mentality, maybe where you've been dishonest with yourself, dishonest with others. There's actually a lot of beliefs around beauty that people don't really notice that they have. Like, some people hate beautiful things, and that's just a trauma. That's just a programming that needs to be fixed, because the divine feminine, like, is beauty. Like, the divine feminine is not just in us, but it's in the world. It's in life. It is life itself. It is creation. So everything is beautiful because everything has that feminine beauty in it. Even, like, the dark goddesses who've been deemed by society to be ugly and treacherous, and like Medusa who turns people to stone and stuff, but really they actually have so much beauty, and they were repressed, so they were put down. They were like, society made them bad. So a bigger part of this is, can you love things that are unlovable? Can you see something for instance, a little thing like a bug, and see beauty in it and see love and life in it? We have to like practice seeing things from a different perspective in the world, because it's so easy to get caught up in this is how I see something, this is how I perceive something, this is how I believe something. But that's not you. That's your programming. You are life force itself. You are pure consciousness. You can look at everything the way that God does, which is just seeing the beauty and knowing every single thing serves a purpose. You don't really have to judge anything. You don't even have, like, the less you think, the higher vibrational you are. And a big part of that is meditation. So when you practice sitting and just letting your thoughts flow by, instead of like being like, oh, don't like that thought, swat it away. Oh, don't like that thought, swat it away. No, we're just going to be like, oh, that's there. Sure. Okay. You don't have to attach to it because you're not your thoughts. Detachment is key. Detach. That's what I've been learning. And the more that I do, the more liberated, the more free I feel. The less I'm judging myself, the less I'm judging others, and the more I can work fluidly in the world, and bringing more acceptance and unity into everyday life. So I think that's going to be all for today. I'll see you in the next one.